With their backs against the wall, the orange and blue will try to extend the series. We get you set for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and Panthers here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. Tom Gazzola and YouTube Trev with you. Matt Kassian, of course, will be joining us a little bit later on in the program as we get set for a crucial, pivotal game number 4 in this Stanley Cup Final. The Panthers leading the series 3-0 as always, like we tend to do on this fine station called Edmonton Sports Talk. We highly encourage you to get in on the conversation, whether it's via the text line 780-218-9999, or of course, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, get into the nasty chat. Richard, I know you said I'm coming at you from Kelly's Pub tonight. Not the case. Inside the satellite studios from just outside of Ice District, it is ready to pop off. What a vibe around the city. What a vibe around downtown all day long. People in their jerseys ready to go. The Plaza and Ice District were busy and humming and everything like that. And I think people are excited to see if the Oilers can keep their hopes alive. Can they hold on? Can they force a game 5? We'll find out in a few hours, but that is your question of the night. Will Edmonton force a game number 5? Text us 780-218-9999. And of course, like I said before, get into the nasty chat. GCL Diesel, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. A big thank you to GCL Diesel for partnering up with our fine show. And it's been a hell of a run, that's for sure. Let's welcome in YouTube Trev from the EST Global HQ on the city's west side, shaking his head. What's wrong? You doing okay, YouTube Trev?
Yep. Everything's good, Tommy. We're chilling.
What are you shaking your head for? What's going on here?
I'm just nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
You are.
I'm nervous. I am a little nervous tonight. Just looking at that question, I'll get into it right now, I suppose, if that's okay.
Sure.
Will Edmonton force a game 5? I mean, I think they could. I think they could, Tommy. I don't like their chances necessarily going any further than that, though, unfortunately, just because they have, it's a pretty big hole they're in right now. So,
oh, yes.
But I like what a lot of the guys had to say. If anyone's going to do it, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, there's a lot of the two best players in the world, right? So here's hoping that they step up tonight. They're going to need them. You're going to need everyone's best effort. That's the only way. That's the only way they can do it, Tommy. Like I'm sorry for the cliches, but it's true. So will Edmonton force a game 5? I certainly hope so. I'll just leave it at that, Tommy.
All right, there you go. YouTube's Trev's take on the question of the night. Will Edmonton force a game 5 in the Stanley Cup Final? Just text us 780-218-9999. Of course, like I said, get into the nasty chat. Buzz in Nebraska is ready to go. He's watching all the way in Nebraska. He's got his Oilers hat and his Oilers jersey on. If only we could send you some 6 o'clock or loggers, Buzz. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. All right, we're going to get to starting lineups and goaltenders. I also want to mention that Derek Van Diest will be joining us from NHL.com. Now, I had him slated to start at 4:45 with his hit. However, he sent me a picture from the watch party area, the fan park, waiting for Shania Twain. Is that a foul? Is that a foul if you're DVD, Trev? I don't know. I'm like, do you want to push the hit back? Like, what are we doing here? Are we working or are we listening to Shania Twain?
Yeah.
What are we doing, DVD?
Yeah, that's you know what? I actually ran into DVD yesterday. He was at the Elks game. Zach's very confident. He went up to him. He's like, let's go say hi to DVD. And I don't know. I was like, well, maybe it was because I was a few beers in, and I was like, maybe, I don't know. But we went up to DVD, and he was so nice. I honestly didn't think that he would remember who I was. But he was like, YouTube Trev, Zach to come, like right away. And we're like, oh, hey, how's it going? So it was a really good talk. Yeah, I don't know. It was a really good talk. And so I certainly hope that Shania Twain, is that who it was? Shania Twain?
Shania Twain.
Come on, Shania Twain. I don't know. I'm not happy with that DVD. I'll be talking to you pretty soon here.
You're going to have a stern talking to DVD.
I'm going to.
Is that a foul, everyone? Text us 780-218-9999. Of course, Nasty Chat. Is that a business foul going to Shania? VR Montenegro with the quick response says, Shania better than Tommy. No kidding. Of course. I get it. But if you're working, maybe focus on the work. If you're not, maybe go and enjoy Shania Twain. I don't know. You tell me. So we want to hear from you. Get into the conversation. 780-218-9999 and the Nasty Chat. This one from the full Jaunty. Ooh, this one's juicy. The full Jaunty says, greetings, Tommy and YouTube. Trav checking in and listening from Portland, Maine. As my wife and I make our way back home to Victoria after a month in Quebec City, Tommy, I'm a little ticked off that Belzy blew off my negative comments about Nurse's play 2 weeks ago on Hello Hockey after Nurse had that one impressive game that all the negative press. Sean stated in response to my comments that no one's perfect, excusing Nurse's play and implying that I was expecting perfection from Nurse, which I'm not. And then on this morning's Hello Hockey, he and you went on at length about Nurse's poor play, stating basically exactly what I said 2 weeks ago. I really enjoy Sean's contribution to the show. I'm just saying I called it 2 weeks ago. He blew me off. And now 2 weeks later is making the exact same points I made. You're still loyal listener, Jaunty in Maine. Let's go Oilers. Jaunty, I appreciate that. Good memory. I'm meeting up with Belzy later on tonight. I will let him know. I tried to give Nurse the benefit of the doubt. And he's been bad all playoffs. I'm just going to say he's been bad all playoffs. And we did go at length. And Jaunty did point it out to us earlier in the postseason. And a lot of people did. And we tried giving him the benefit of the doubt. Here we are a couple weeks later. And we were wrong. So Jaunty, on behalf of Sean, I apologize. You were right. I will remind Sean of that. This one from Donnie M says, guys, Mavs forced game 5. Why not the Oil? Yes, and they did it in like thundering fashion yesterday against the Celtics. So let's see if the Oilers can empty the tank, if you will. And make sure that this series goes back to South Florida and maybe save a little bit of pride so you don't have to watch that team with the Panthers on their crest skate around Edmonton's ice with that big silver, beautiful trophy. I like it. Let's go to Shaggy in St. Albert. Shaggy in St. Albert was a little bit salty the other night, among many, and deservedly so. Shaggy in St. Albert says, I do not expect the Oilers to win this series, but if the Oilers have any heart or pride, they should win this game. Panthers aren't as desperate as Edmonton and probably are actually fine with winning the cup at home. If the Oilers lay an egg tonight again, then that shows me this team is fatally flawed. I am more understanding of them eventually losing the cup, but being first team to be swept in 26 years, the team should be embarrassed with sleepwalking through the finals. Shaggy in St. Albert, he wants his team to perform, and it hasn't gone their way at all in this series. All right. We'll get to more text shortly. Let's see what DVD said. He finally got back to me. He said, maybe just 5 minutes. He's walking back now. Okay, here's what we could do in the meantime. We can get to some starting lineups. We can also get to a couple of clips audio-wise, and then we will get to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, as well as more of your text, 780-218-9999, and via the Nasty Chat as well. Behave yourselves in there. When the Canucks fans get in, look out. How about them being all disappointed and pouty and all that stuff? All right, let's go to the Oilers' anticipated starting lineup for tonight. McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Fogle and Perry. Henrique with Janmark and Brown. McLeod between Holloway and Ryan. Ekholm paired up with Bouchard. Kulak paired up with CC. Broberg and Desharnais skated together this morning. No Darnell Nurse on the ice. No Evander Kane on the ice. We will see if Nurse is good to go. I didn't catch Chris Noblock earlier today, so I didn't see if he's been ruled out, but we'll find out shortly. And then let's go to the Panthers. Alexander Barkov between Evan Rodriguez and Sam Reinhart. Sam Bennett between Carter Verhaeghe and Matthew Tkachuk. Anton Lundell with Eetu Luostarinen and Vladimir Tarasenko. Kevin Stenlund between Steven Lorentz and Kyle Okposo. For the Panthers on defense, Gustav Forsling, with Aaron Ekblad, Nico Mikkola with Brandon Montour, Oliver Ekman-Larsson with Dmitry Kulikov. And in goal tonight, no surprises here. 25-year-old Stu Skinner, 11-8 with a 259 GAA, an 893 save percentage, 1 shutout, 19 playoff games. And then you've got him with a 16-14 record overall in his career in the postseason. 298 goals against average, 889 save percentage with 1 shutout in 31 career playoff games. At the other end of the rink, probably the Conn Smythe Trophy leader at this point, 35-year-old Sergei Bobrovsky, 15-5, 207 goals against average, 916 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 20 playoff games. This postseason, Bobrovsky lifetime in the playoffs, 44-40, 281 GAA, 907 save percentage, 3 shutouts in 90 games in his playoff career. There you go, starting lineups as well as starting netminders. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room, I should say inside the press area at the downtown community arena, and hear from head coach Chris Noblock.
Lineup tonight, will Vander Kane be playing? And I know you've as the playoffs have worn on, you've been a little more, not secretive, but you haven't been telling us as much as you did earlier in the playoffs. So this could be the last game. So
things are a
who's
little
playing
bit
and who's
different.
not?
Things are a little bit different, a little more at stake. I think regular season there's not much reason to or keep anything secret, but playoffs are obviously a little bit different. So I'm gonna have to make you wait.
Right side, third row, Ryan and Cam.
First one here is from Cam. He just wanted to know about focus in a moment like this and what signs you see of focus from your group.
I think the guys are very focused. I think they're, optimistic, focused, energized, excited for the challenge. And it's going to be a challenge, but if there's a team that can do it, if there's a group of men that I want to do this with, it's the guys in that room. From what I've seen through this season, how resilient they are, their perseverance, their focus, their attitude. I'm really excited for the next 10 days.
What will your approach be tonight, to prepare your team? Will it be any different than what you would normally do? And what tone would you like to set with them and for them?
I think as the series goes on, whether it's been the LA series, Vancouver, Dallas, Florida, as the series goes on, things get a little more direct, simple, less information, just because you know the team so well. There's no surprises. Everyone knows their face-off plays. Everyone knows what their forecheck is. They know their responsibilities. So the meetings get a little tightened up. And it doesn't change very much.
Right side, front row, Derek.
Okay, Chris, this team seems to play its best when it's backed up into a corner. I think I recall back going to that 3-game losing streak. You guys were in Carolina, and it looked like the bottom had fallen out of this team, I guess. What is it about this team's makeup that once they're backed in a corner, once it's a must-win situation like it was in Vancouver, that brings out the best in them?
I don't know. I think just their experiences in the past and how they've had difficult times, and anytime you get eliminated in playoffs in the past, and you learn lessons from that, and whether you're through a losing streak or they've been able to bounce back. I don't think they get too rattled on their situation. I think there's a lot of confidence in the team. We know that we've got a lot of good players and we have a good team, that if things haven't been going well, we can turn it around because collectively we have that ability.
Left side, third row.
All right, there was Chris Noblock, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, heading into game number 4 of this Stanley Cup Final. They're looking to stay alive. That is the question of the night. We're keeping it super simple. Text us 780-218-9999, and in the nasty chat, question of the night is this: will Edmonton force a game 5 in Florida? As we welcome in our first guest tonight, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, who's a busy boy. He's going to Shania Twain. He's talking to everybody. He's hosting NHL the Espanol. He's all over the map. Did you enjoy Shania? Was it worth it? Derek, tell me about your experience at Shania.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Okay.
Shania Twain. It was great. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I thought she was great. So, if I didn't have to come here, I'd still be out there. But it's all good.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I ruined your fun while you're
That's
supposed
all
to be
right.
working, covering a Stanley
Yeah,
Cup
I know.
Final.
Game doesn't start till an hour and 10 minutes, so I would have been more than happy to hang out. No, it was great. Great concert, great atmosphere. A lot of people out there. It's a very, despite the fact that the Oilers are down 3-0 in the series, there's a lot of optimism here. And you win a game, just win one game and go from there. You're not going to win 4 in a row. You're going to win 1 in a row. And I think that's what the Oilers are focused on right now. They look back, if they were getting stomped in this series, if they were getting rolled in this series, then there'd be, I think, a lot more pessimism going into this game. But they're not getting rolled in this series. They should have won game 1, and they made mistakes cost them. They had a chance in game 2. They were right there. Despite getting outplayed, it was 1-1 going in the third period. All they had to do was win a period, then they threw the puck away, and it was in the back of the net. That game is over. They're playing really well in the game 3. They were in a good spot. Warren Fogle scored to tie the game. The place was electric. The building was full. It was ready to explode. And Skinner misses the puck behind the net, gets caught out of his net, 2-1. That game is over. So I think the Oilers have to stop making these 5 bell mistakes, and they've been making them throughout the entire playoffs. And that's what the frustrating part about this is. This isn't a one-off thing. They almost threw that series away against Vancouver when they were cruising at 3-0. Puck gets thrown right up the middle by Ryan McLeod. It's in the back of the net.
Yep.
Suddenly, you're scrambling for the last 8 minutes of that hockey game. There's been so many mistakes and 5 bell mistakes. If you're going to make mistakes like that, just get the face off, throw the puck in your own net, and at least start off 1-0 instead of just doing that. Let's do that then. Instead of giving the game away, giving goals away. And I think that's the frustrating. Championship teams do not give goals away. The Florida Panthers have a good enough team. They don't need your help. They're going to try and get their goals. They're going to get their goals their own way. Don't give goals away. And I think that's something that we talked about Chris Noblock. We talked to a lot of guys. And Warren Fogle made a good point. He goes, sometimes you just got to live the fight the next day. You don't have to make that pass through 6 legs in your own zone in front of your own net. Just get it out. I know Chris Noblock doesn't like the chipping out because the puck's going to come rammed right down your throat. I get that. But there are desperate times for desperate measures. And when in doubt, get it out. That's always been the situation. They're trying to get too cute. When you try and get too cute, that's when the Oilers get in trouble. And they have to read the room a little bit. If you got the momentum, if you got those guys on their heels, if you got total control of the game, don't throw the puck away. It's really keep it simple. Don't do it away. They've done it, and you think they would learn from playoff round to playoff round to playoff round. But we've seen these mistakes come over and over and over and over again. And that's number one. Stop giving away goals, because if you want to start 1-0 down, just throw the puck in your own net and then let's go. Kind of the Italians did today at the Euro.
Hey,
I don't know if you saw that.
Hey, nobody breaks pasta in front of us, those Albanians.
I'm just saying the Italians gave a goal away and they
won.
Okay, let's play now.
Hello, they're 1-0 at the Euro. Let's go.
I know, but it's like I'm saying, don't give goals away like the Italians did today to the Albanians.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. They still won the game, and that's all that matters. And the Oilers looking to do the same thing. And the funny quote you had there, the Florida Panthers are already a good team. They don't need your help. The Oilers have been helping them a lot, as you pointed out. All right, DVD, your sense of the Oilers going into this game number 4, because I think on Thursday going into game 3, like talking to the players, even off camera, they seem to be pretty confident, calm, cool, and collected, all that good stuff. Didn't matter because they gave all those grade A opportunities to the Panthers. The Panthers took advantage, and the rest was history. So what's your sense of the group? Are they defeated? Do they still have a little bit of fight left in them? Will they get this? Like, what's your read on the group? Because you've been covering them like I have for a very, very long time and all season long.
Well, my read on the group is this. These guys love to be counted out. Like, to be honest, they love when they went 2-9-1 and everyone said, it's done, it's over. McDavid era is going to be over. They're not making the playoffs. McDavid's going to want to trade out of town. Remember that talk 12 games in or 10 games in? McDavid's going to want out of town. He's not going to want to play here. And they like that defeatist attitude, they feed off that. And they're feeding off this defeatist attitude. Like, count them out. They were counted out against Vancouver. They lost game 5 and everyone's like, okay, it was a good run. There's no way they're going to beat Vancouver 2 games in a row because they haven't beat them 2 games all season. So remember, and they went back and they had their best game of the playoffs in game 6 of that series. They completely dominated the Canucks, best game of the series. And they followed that up with another outstanding game in game 7. They're up 3-0 cruising. Then they throw the puck away and they get in trouble. So I think these guys, when they're playing from the edge of a cliff, I really think that that's something that they kind of pride themselves in, and they love to be counted out. They've been counted out all the time. Every series they go in, they're counted out as underdogs. People thought, oh, LA is going to be tough. It's tough to beat them 3 times in a row in the playoffs. They're a big, heavy team. They swept past LA. Vancouver was supposed to wipe the floor with them. Granted, yes, they had their third string goalie in. That was probably better than their second string goalie in.
Yep.
But the Oilers eventually got to them, right? And same thing with Dallas. This series is over in 5 games. I had conversations with guys that thought, look, this series, the Oilers will be lucky to win a game against Dallas. They're such a great team, fast team. They got the best goaltender in the world. They beat them in 6, okay? So now you're in a situation where everyone's talking about how good the Florida Panthers were. They're a very, very good hockey team. Don't get me wrong. They're a very, very good hockey team. But they've been dominated for maybe 4 of the 6 periods that we've played so far. So it's one of those things that the Oilers, I think game 1, what they did is they opened their eyes and said, oh my God, if we play this way, if we play this dominant, we can really take it to this team.
Sure.
And the narrative, what was the narrative? Oh, the Florida Panthers were terrible. Well, there's 2 sides to that coin. They were terrible because the Oilers were so good. Same thing in game 3. The Oilers were good. They were in a great spot. They were heading in the right direction. They threw that game away. So you can't throw games away, especially in the final. But I think that they do get their backs up when their backs are against the wall. They do get their backs up when everyone's doubting them. This team has been doubted for all year. And exactly. Remember, we were saying these guys will barely get into the playoffs. And if they get into the playoffs, they'll lose in the first round. Here they are in the Stanley Cup Final, game 4. This building's going to be electric. I can imagine this building's going to be electric. It's Saturday, Tom. People have been preparing all day for this. Like they're going to be well lubricated coming into this arena. It's going to be a really, Saturday night games are special. 6 o'clock. Thursday was energetic. It'll be unbelievable in here tonight. And I think they're getting them all prepped. The great concert outside, great crowd outside. They're already in the mosh pit getting ready to go. So I think this is it, especially if people think this is the last game of the year, they're going to be fired up.
Well, I could tell people were thirsty just walking around downtown today as they were getting their beverages, and many of them. So I think they're going to be in fine form inside that building, outside the building, in and around the city. Mix in a water. Don't forget to mix in a water. All right. It's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us now. Text us 780-218-9999. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button and get into the nasty chat. Okay, that was the Edmonton Oilers side of things. On the flip side, like you mentioned, how about the Florida Panthers? What's your take on how they're approaching this? I know yesterday they were talking about being calm, embracing the moment, don't let it get to them. What did you hear from them? What are you sensing from Florida, listening to Paul Maurice and his players today?
Well, you know what they say about playoff series. The 4th game is the toughest to win. Imagine the 4th game when the Stanley Cup is on the line. That's a tough game to win. And so they're trying to make it as like any other game, but let's not kid ourselves. They know the cup is ready to be presented today. They know that these guys have been fighting for this for a long, long time. It was a long road back for Florida. For those guys that were on the team last year, it's been a long road back. So they're ready. They're right there at the finish line. It's just a matter of sprinting through the line right now. They can't coast. They can't think that they've won this game. They know that the Oilers are a tough team, and they've known that they've been outplayed for a lot of this series. Like, don't get me wrong, they know they've had the better goalie, that he's been on his head, but he's had a lot of luck too. He's had some pucks bounce and go out when they could easily bounce and go in. He's had some goal post help, so he's been really good. But they know that they have to play better, and they have to play a lot better than did in game 3 to win game 4. But you're right, when you're this close to a goal you've been fighting for your whole life, of course it's going to affect you. They got family and friends here. They're probably thinking about those celebrations on the ice after the game. But they have to try and stay focused. They have to keep the focus on the game, do the things they've been doing. And Florida's not going to give the game away. This is a very polished Florida Panthers team. They're not going to give the game away. They're going to make you earn everything. So the Oilers have to earn what they get today. But the Panthers, they're just thinking, okay, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Let's put more pressure on them. Let's take the game to the Oilers. Let's go out and win this thing as opposed to trying not to lose it.
DVD coming at us from the media center inside Rogers Place. I was at the media lunch today after Hello Hockey, and I had a chance to run into a few of our peers and colleagues, but I didn't get a chance to talk to many of them and really deep dive on stuff. So were there some comments today? What's the vibe from the media side? Are people anticipating this being over tonight? What's the gauge there, DVD?
Well, I think the gauge is the out-of-town media don't want to go back to Florida tomorrow.
I picked up on
they're
that.
Hoping,
they're
hoping
hoping
this
is
over. They don't want to have another 15, 16, 17-hour travel. So I think they hope that this one's over and they can all go home. It's been a long road for a lot of people here. A lot of people haven't been home in a long time, especially those that aren't from one of the two cities that are from here, from Toronto or New York or from wherever, and they've been kind of living out a suitcase for the last 2 months. So they sense the finish line as well, and they're ready to go home. I think a lot of local media from here, we're not ready for this run to end. We'd like to see it at least extended for another game. The last thing you want to do is, if you're the Oilers, you don't want to get swept out of the finals. Oh, you made it to the finals, but you got swept. So you don't want to be that team. They want to put up a fight. They want to go in there, win a game, get it back to Florida. If they can steal a game in Florida, bring it back here for game 6, who knows what'll happen then. But it's one game in a row. And remember, the last time these guys lost 3 games in a row, they won an 8-game winning streak, lost 3 games in a row, rattled off 16 straight. So this is a team that can win a lot of games in a row. The only difference is that they're playing the same team as opposed to different teams on those win streaks. And they got a team right now that thinks they've figured them out, thinks they know what they're doing. But, we've seen this team long enough, you and I, Tom. Draisaitl's going to have a breakout game. He's yet to have. McDavid's going to blow up. He's yet to have that breakout game.
True.
And I think Stuart Skinner has yet to have a game like he did in game 6 against Dallas Stars. Everyone's been, throwing dirt on his grave, saying, well, he's nowhere near as good as Bobrovsky. The Florida Panthers are way better. But we've seen Stuart Skinner have big performances, and it's same thing to what the Oilers are. Everyone's been counting him out. It's time for him to steal a game.
I would say this about Stuart Skinner. I know he's had his flaws. Absolutely. We've called him out on those, but a lot of times we've defended him because his body of work as a second-year full-time National Hockey League goaltender is pretty impressive. And it hasn't been the prettiest route to get to where he has, but he's gotten there. And so for a guy that's just in year number 2, people painting him a certain way and saying, oh, the ceiling is not going to get any better. I beg to differ, but we'll see if he has a big performance tonight. All right, here's another thing. You did mention the guys who haven't scored yet, and those are the top dogs. That is McDavid. That is Draisaitl. That is Hyman. That is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Should we be making an even bigger deal about their inability to beat Sergei Bobrovsky in 3 games of this Cup final?
Well, one of the guys I'm surprised that hasn't scored is Zach Hyman, because he's had good looks. And he's had the puck bounce it over his stick right in front of the crease. He's missed a couple of tap-ins so far in this series. And those are money goals for a guy like Zach Hyman. And he's proven he's played really well in the playoffs. He's still going to those hard areas. But the only difference is that this time the puck seems to be bouncing around him, or he's unable to find it, then able to fish it out. So I got to be wondering about Zach Hyman when he's going to come out and score a couple of goals. And I think that's the one thing that concerns me. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, my God, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has been here for so long. He's waited so long. We waited through those terrible, terrible seasons where this team couldn't go anywhere near the playoffs. This is it. This is his apple to go grab. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you need to have a big game. You need to have a good rest of the series, because you think about the work he's put in and all he's been through, and now they say, okay, here's your opportunity, and you've got zeros on the board. Like, that's a guy that really has to go, and he's really got to figure it out. And we think we've seen it before. We've seen him come up with some big games. He's doing a great job on the penalty kill. He's doing a great job on the defensive side of the game, but they need him to score. He's got to step up. And I think that's one guy. And obviously everyone talks about Draisaitl doesn't have any points yet in this series. He's creating a lot of chances. He's been robbed a couple of times by Bobrovsky. He's getting those looks. It's only a matter of time before those go in on for him. So, but I think there are some guys that kind of have to step up, and this is your moment. You may never come again. And I think you have to realize that. You can't shy away from it. You got to step up and grab it. And like I said, it's one of those things, play to win, don't play not to lose. And I think that's the big thing for a lot of those guys in that room is go out and get it. Don't try to give it away. Don't be afraid to lose it because you're trying to go out and get it. So I think that's the big thing for some of these Oilers tonight.
June 17th, 2006 was the last Stanley Cup Final game in Edmonton, which featured the Edmonton Oilers and fans prior to game number 3. You were there. You were covering that series and that run. How did game 3 in the new building a couple of decades later compare to back then at the old building during the surprise 2006 run? What would you say to that?
Well, I would think, like, I do work with a lot of out-of-town reporters here from NHL.com, and they were so impressed with the game presentation. They were so impressed with the way things were. It's just a bit more polished. Back then, it was just raw energy crowd. That building was so loud. There was times we're in that catwalk. Remember, we'd be in that catwalk, and it would start to shake and vibrate. And then you start looking at, okay, what's this thing being held up by? Because it's shaking like
cables.
This. And yeah, oh, there's 2 cables there. I really hope they don't snap on us. And it was deafening in that place because you in the media area in that old catwalk, you were right among the fans. There were fans behind you, all around you. You were right in the mix, in the noise there. And that's the one thing I remember about Game 6 is that the place was so loud, and the catwalk was shaking, and it was almost swaying, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, we're all going to go down. It's going to be a massive disaster. It's kind of like when we were the first year in the new building in 2017.
Yes.
When we were in the media room and they had the dance party above us.
Yep.
And then all you could hear the windows creak. They're going creak, creak, creak. And we're thinking, oh my God, everyone's going to come out. And then someone says, don't worry, they're designed to bend that way. It's like, windows are designed to bend that way? Okay. Yeah, I think there's a reason the dance party is no longer happening, because I think a lot of people went, nah, they're not designed to bend that way. That thing's coming down. But, but the new arena has its charm, has its different things. But I think the production, like you look at the production in Florida and the production in Edmonton, it doesn't even match. Like the production in Florida is, I hate to say it, but it's a little amateurish, a little amateur hour, trying to get the crowd fired up. Here, they've done a great job. They really know what they're doing, and they allow the crowd to kind of crescendo. And I think that's the one thing that, in Florida, they try to pump it in. It's kind of, every second of every stoppage, they're pumping in music, they're pumping in something. They just don't allow the crowd to breathe. And here they do a much better job of that.
All right, DVD, last one for you. It is the question of the night. I put it out to our audience as well, 780-218-9999, and via the Nasty Chat. Question of the night is this: will Edmonton force a Game 5? Derek, take it away.
I think they will. I think they'll do enough to get if Game 5, maybe it might be tense, it might be overtime, it might be something, but I think it's a matter of their game is building. I really do think that they're building their game. They had a good start. They didn't play very well in game 2. They were expecting the push by the Panthers, and they didn't do a good job of kind of absorbing that push and pushing back. I think Game 3 was opportunity lost. They look at that going, okay, opportunity lost. Can they replicate that game? If they can replicate that game, keep the mistakes out of it. To me, I think they got to Bobrovsky a little bit in that third period. They got those 2 goals. And we saw this with Ottinger in Game 5 in Dallas. Throw the puck at the net, bounces, dirty goals. Everyone talks about the playoffs. You have to score dirty goals. You have to get in the playoffs. And how many times we've seen the Oilers with a shot in the slot, passing it away to the blue, passing it back to the blue line, or looking for the better shot.
Right.
Get the puck to the net. Go get the puck. And that's how you're going to score on this guy. Get bodies in front of him, get tips, deflections, rebounds. He's a very good goalie. And then another thing, too, that I've noticed from Bobrovsky, and I don't know why they haven't picked up on it, he does like to come out and challenge shooters. So you got to do the old fake slap shot, walk around him, try to tuck it in that way. And I've yet to see that. I'm not sure why. That's something that we've been taught as kids a long time. Your goalie challenges you, fake the shot, walk around him. We'll see if that happens today. But he's been playing pretty well. They've been really kind of living and dying with him. But if the Oilers can get to him, I think they got a chance here to extend the series back to Florida.
DVD, great hit as always, my friend. Now you can go back and watch Shania before puck drop. Good stuff.
Hope she's not over. Yeah, we have to go out there, so we'll see.
Okay, there you go. Derek Van Diest, NHL.com. We'll see you at the press box tonight. There is our boy. You can check out all of his stuff on NHL.com. He has been great for us here at our new station. 1 year, we're past 1 year of the end of our old station, and we are now approaching 1 year of the start of our new station. Yesterday was the anniversary of 1260 going down, and September 6th will be the 1 year anniversary of Edmonton Sports Talk being on the air. So DVD has been a big part of our run here at EST. Great to have him during this Stanley Cup playoffs, and we appreciate his time as always. Let's get to some text here. 780-218-9999. Nasty Kenne simply says, yes, they will. Super simple in regard to will Edmonton force a Game 5. All right. Before we get to Matt Kassian and Game Changers, we're going to go inside the Oilers portion of the media availability and down to the media center at Rogers Place. Let's hear from who do you want to hear from, Trev? Actually, I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, let's. I wouldn't mind hearing from Corey Perry and Connor Brown. So let's hear from those guys right now.
Sure.
Of trying to beat this team 4 straight times versus just trying to come in here and win a game tonight. I guess that's why the cliche is there. But is that, probably 2 pretty different things to contemplate, and why you got to stay focused on tonight?
Yeah, and I said that yesterday. I said, you can't look too far ahead. It's if you start looking too far ahead, it's a daunting task. They're a great team. We know that, but you start with one period, one game, and you work your way from there. And that's all we can do.
Right side, first row, Derek.
Hey, Connor, is it more frustrating that the fact that you guys probably outplayed these guys 2 of the 3 games and you're down 3-0? Like, how do you kind of turn that tide and know that you've played 2 pretty good games and yet you're in the situation you're in?
Well, I think that because we feel like we held the play for maybe the majority of the series here. I think it makes makes this situation that we're in, as daunting as it can be, less daunting. I think that the unique thing about our club, I think over the year we've shown when we are backed into a corner, that's when we feel more comfortable, and that's when we seem to play our best. So. Like I said, we've for majority of this series, the play is, we've kept up or pushed had them on their heels, and so, it's just coming out and doing it for a full 60 and playing the way that we know we have to play to win games.
Left side, first row, Bob.
Corey, as you mentioned, I got a real good team, and our goalie is locked in. He's playing great. Do you guys think? Did you start to finally get to where you needed to get to make it a little bit more difficult for him as the game wore on in game number 3?
Well, I think, you look at the first couple games, when he sees the puck, he's probably going to stop it. And he has been stopping it. And he's made some great saves. And as that third period wore on, we got to the front of the net. We found some puck luck. Not enough, but I think it's a start, and that's what we have to build on.
That same row, Pierre.
Connor, can you walk us through, the ebbs and flows of the emotions of this team? You go down 3-0 the other night. What's it like in that room in the minutes right after? And then when you're coming to the rink yesterday, you start feeling everyone coming back up again and getting in the right place mentally for tonight. What's that like? Is it different for every player, or can you sense that as a group as it's happening?
Well, I think that's the the uniqueness of the Stanley Cup playoffs is it becomes such an emotional game, and the key is obviously not to get too high or too low. But like I said, the belief in that room is we believe in each other. We think that we're the only team in the league that could accomplish something like this, be able to come back on such a good group over there. And but to Corey's point, it's just one thing at a time. It's just getting a good start tonight and building from there.
In that same role, Mark.
Yeah, Corey, usually when you're down 3-0, you've got to find things in your game to change, right? If whatever you're doing isn't working, you got to change stuff. Mm-hmm. It's awfully late in the season to be changing stuff, right? Do the Oilers have to, do exactly what they've been doing and do it better, or do you have to get in and tinker with some stuff?
No, you look at 2 of the 3 games, I thought we played pretty well. Our forecheck was pretty solid. We've had the puck, like Connor was just saying, that we've played most of the game in their zone and played with the puck and had them on their heels a little bit. And maybe the only thing we could say is we started to do it in the third period, where get in front of Bob, start going to the net. Those are for us. Those are big things. And I was saying that. When he sees the puck, he's probably going to stop it. So if somebody's around the net, just hanging around, just being there, creating havoc, doing those little things, that might be the one thing we can change. And, but stay the course, because we've played, in our minds, we thought we've played pretty well. And we just need those bounces.
There you go, Connor Brown and Corey Perry heading into Game 4 tonight. Will the Oilers force a Game 5? That is the question of the night. Let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. And, of course, get into the nasty chat. Corey B. chiming in says, Oilers win. Corey B. wins the 50-50. Let's go. Mary says, Oil in 7, or please just at least win this one so the city can get its party on. Twitter, Mary, I like that. Make it a fun Saturday in the Big E. And this guy wants to see a fun Saturday. He is our game analyst, the one and only Matt Kassian, as we get you set for Game Changers. with Cass, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. And a huge thank you to Damon Bunting for believing in us when we started this new station in the summer of last year, and for believing in all of our shows and being a big part of the Oil Stream, which we appreciate so very much. And Cass, you're a friend with Damon. Just good people doing good things, helping out each other, which is kind of his MO, is it not?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, it is. I think so. No, Damon's awesome. Wonderful guy, wonderful family, the entire family, him, his wife and the kids, and his extended family as well. His brothers and everyone else. The whole Bunting clan is pretty awesome. So yeah, Damon's legit, just a wonderful, wonderful person.
Yes, he is. And we appreciate him believing in us on this station and this show. All right, Cass. I hope it's not the final game changers of the season, but let's deep dive into it. Number one tonight, blood in the water.
And there's lots of it. And the Panthers are swimming, circling.
Panthers can swim, can't they?
I think they can swim.
Yeah, sure.
The tuna, the giant tuna are circling.
Right.
Whatever it is, the Edmonton Oilers right now, if we're going with straight up Panthers, they are, the baby gazelle or the baby deer that's been wounded and separated from the pack and from their mother, the elk that has been separated from the herd, and the cougar is prowling right now. Blood everywhere. The Edmonton Oilers have not been able to stop the bleeding, Tom, and the Florida Panthers are going to be all over that. You can look the two, and I can't remember which player it was that said it, but it's really true, where it's like you have desperation. Actually, it might have been Paul Maurice. Desperation on one end and desire on the other end, where it's like you have one team that is wants to win a Stanley Cup and wants to win it tonight, that has the opportunity. The cup is in the building. It is polished up and ready to go, and they are going to be playing for it. You can expect surely the best game we have seen thus far from the Florida Panthers. This doesn't seem like a team that's going to take their foot off the gas when things are going well. There's not going to be a let up here. We're going to see the best of the Florida Panthers, and the Edmonton Oilers have to find an answer. I mean, for as much as you're down in the series, you have to find a way, Tom, to bring that energy and to bring that desperation, and to not just have a defeatist mentality at this point, and to not give up. And that's hard. It's hard to not give up when you're down 3-0 in a series. The talk has all been, oh, no one's done this since the 40s, and it's basically impossible to do. But Tom, the reality is you can't let that get to you. If the Edmonton Oilers, for a second, or maybe I'll up it from a couple seconds, for a couple shifts today, don't believe that they have the opportunity to win this game in this series, the game is over and the series is done. Right. And you're getting swept. The belief in that room, for as much as you have or are in a position of struggle and of pain and of suffering, being down 3-0, Tom, you got to play like it's 0-0 in the series. And that desperation has to be there. Again, I think we're going to see the best game from the Panthers tonight, and we got to see how the Edmonton Oilers respond.
Like you mentioned, the Oilers can become the 5th team in NHL history to overcome a 3-0 series deficit to win, following the Kings in 2014, the Flyers in 2010, and Islanders in 1975, Maple Leafs in 1942. The Kings did it in the first round. The Flyers did it in the conference semifinal. The Islanders did it in the quarterfinal, and the Leafs, like you alluded to, did it in the 1942 Stanley Cup Final. So it's been a little while since a team has come back from down 3-0 in the Cup Final to win it. A rarefied air, I suppose. We'll see. It has to start tonight. All right, number one on Game Changers tonight with Matt Kassian was blood in the water. Number two, Cass, energize.
Well, find that energy. Hey, that kind of builds up. And these are all going to tie together, Tom, because that energy and that motivation, it's going to tie right into it. Again, that belief that you can go out and you can win a hockey game, that belief that if you do things right, you have the chance at maybe getting back in the series and maybe winning a Stanley Cup, or I shouldn't even say maybe, of actually winning a Stanley Cup. You know, you've got here, you have maybe on the plus side or downside, I guess, from a long-term standpoint, but plus side, you went through some terrible times at the start of the regular season. You have been through quite a bit or a lot of adversity as a team, and this is the biggest challenge yet. It's the biggest challenge. This is the biggest hill to climb. It's bigger, and even statistically, it's bigger to climb this mountain than it was to get back in a playoff position after the start of their season. This is the biggest challenge yet, but they have overcome different things at different times.
Right.
You have to find a way to find that energy. Florida is going to be feeling it. The adrenaline's going to pumping for them. The heart rate's going to be pumping for them. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to, again, want to win a cup tonight, and Edmonton has to find a way to respond. You have to find a way, Tom, to pull it out of you. You have to, I don't care what you got to do, but from a motivation standpoint, a desperation standpoint, your playoff lives are on the line. The Stanley Cup is on the line.
Yes.
You need to, Tom, find whatever it is to motivate you, to drive you, to find that energy, because even if we look back at moments, they had energy towards the end of that third period. I thought they played a pretty good third period.
Yep.
In game number 3, they had moments in the game. They've had moments in the series where they've had great energy and they've controlled the play, but it hasn't been sustaining throughout. And tonight, you can't leave any doubt. You can't leave any doubt in the way that you play that you're going to lose this hockey game or not win this hockey game. Like you got to find a way to play with that energy, Tom, and to do it from the drop of the puck. Like this can't, there's no way, as we've seen against this Florida team, you play 50 minutes, you could lose. You play 55 minutes, you could lose. You have to find the full 60 or more if that's what it takes. Tom, you got to find a way to pull that energy out and to do something or start to do something special and amazing.
Cal in the park says first 10 minutes will tell the tale. Come out, control, score, and keep going. So we'll see if they can do that tonight. And Cass, I think that the mantra would have to be do what you did in the third period, right? Is it that simple?
Yeah. I mean, do whatever the heck you got to do.
Whatever you got to do.
If I had your little bleeping button, I'd be hitting it. I'd be punching it here. Like, I mean, that's like, yeah, do whatever you got to do. But like, They've had enough moments over the season, in the playoffs, and even little moments in the series where you have seen and they have felt what it's like when they're rolling. Now they have found over and over and over again ways to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yes.
Ways to make the big mistake and ways to completely take away their own momentum when it had been building and they've been feeling that. And that's going to be one of the big keys tonight is, making sure that if you do come out the gate with that momentum and with that energy and where you're feeling it and the team is pushing and you're fighting and you're battling and you're winning your battles and you're getting opportunities, of not having those big crucial mistakes. Because that's, Tom, what is absolutely costing this series so far.
Cass, no goals from McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, the big dogs, basically.
Yep.
Should we be making a bigger deal about that through 3 games, or has it been discussed at nauseum or enough, or should it be a huge headline?
Well, how can it not be a big headline? And I wouldn't necessarily put it in the 5-on-5 play of those guys because they've at times been good. And I think McDavid's still a plus player in terms of, chances for and against. I think he's still positive, I believe, when you look at high quality scoring chances. But their power play hasn't got the job done. And that's why those guys don't have points. And, I know there's a lot of people in the nasty chat that have already just sounding off on Stuart Skinner and how Stuart Skinner is losing them the series, and they're blaming Skinner for this. And it's like Leon Draisaitl doesn't have a point.
Yep.
Through 3 games.
Yep.
The power play doesn't have a goal through 3 games.
Yep.
You can't expect Stuart Skinner to score a goal for you on the power play. And like Zach Hyman needs to find a way. And it's so hard to say that because those guys have been so good for so long. They've been so good in the playoffs. But they haven't been great in the Stanley Cup Final, where it's just, for a couple games, there was a lack of execution on the power play, and at times they just haven't been able to solve Bobrovsky. And that's still on them. I mean, it's on the goal scorers, it's on your best players in those moments on the power play to find a way to score a goal, to find a way to be the difference. Game 1, they could have been the difference. Game 1, you outplayed them. Florida didn't play very well in game 1. Now, you gave them 2 goals, and your power play and your offensive opportunities, the puck didn't go in the net. And game 3, again, in the first period, your power play had a ton of opportunity, didn't put the puck in the net, and it could completely rewrite the series. And to me, if this thing does end up finishing tonight, if the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup, to me, that is going to be the number 1 headline and the number 1 reason why the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers. Well, maybe top 3, because they're all going to be pretty close to on par. But one of the top 3 reasons is going to be that power play not finding a way to score. I mean, you can't beat up the quality of play overall in the playoffs of McDavid and Draisaitl. You can't say, oh, they're not playoff performers and, oh, they don't want to win. I mean, that would be is our friend down south, Mr. Biden, likes to say, a bunch of malarkey. It'd be a bunch of malarkey to say that. But to point and to have as a headline to say this is one of the reasons they lost, because those guys couldn't get it done in the Stanley Cup Final against Florida. I mean, that's one of the big headlines, Tom. It has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite, number 1, Blood in the Water, number 2, Energize. You just heard Matty Kassian, our game analyst, talking about him. It is point number 3, the guy in his second full NHL season. It is stealing Skinner, Cass.
Yep. Might have to steal you one. Depending on how the team comes out, depending how they play, depending how they push, depending how Florida pushes, Skinner might have to steal you a game. Bobrovsky did it game 1. Skinner might have to do that here. He might have to, Tom. He could have to play just shoot the lights out. Well, we've seen him do it before. May have to do it tonight. And he probably will have to, if you want a hope of winning the series. If it's not tonight and the Oilers still manage to win, he's going to have to at some point in the next couple games, because Florida's too good to just back down. So, Stuart Skinner going to be a huge factor in this one today, and he might have to steal them a hockey game.
Okay, that was Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite, number 1, Blood in the Water, number 2, Energize, number 3, Stealing Skinner. I need to throw the question of the night to Cass. It is simple. It is, will Edmonton force a game 5? You can text us as well, 780-218-9999. And in the nasty chat, Cass, take it away.
Well, I went with my Edmonton Sports Talk. I don't think they're available right now, but
we have a few left.
There's a few left. Okay, so you can get them right now if you go to Edmonton Sports Talk. Just Google machine it. You can pick them up. I'm wearing it, and there's a bunch of people that are either a little stitious or extremely stitious in the nasty chat that think we win when I wear it. So I wore it. I think we're going to win tonight, because I like being positive, and it would be sure fun to have a chance to do something amazing that hasn't been done in a very long time in this series. So I'm hoping they win it tonight. Give us another day. I want another day, Tom. I'm just not done talking with you yet. I'm not done talking with YouTube Trev yet. So yeah, they win it tonight. They win it tonight. They avoid the sweep.
I like that very much, Cass. And shout out to Chappie. I saw him on the sidelines last night. Old Brent. Did he send the picture?
He did. Yeah, okay. 2 handsome guys there. 2 handsome guys. Yep.
He is a good hype machine. I love that guy. And if you didn't know, Cass's dad is the chaplain for the Elks. Just an awesome dude. Great son. Apple doesn't fall far from the trees. It is Father's Day weekend, so shout out to all the dads out there. Chappie included. My dad, Reno, taking him to the ball game tomorrow with my dad and brother. So, Cass, excellent stuff as always. We will have a conversation tonight. And for those that might be stitious or superstitious, maybe we're talking about an Oilers victory and a Game 5 next week. Well done, my friend. Look forward to catching up with you later in the night.
Thanks, Tommy. Look forward to it too.
That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. All right, we've got some text to get to. 780-218-9999. Nasty chat. What's going on over in the nasty chat there, Trev? Is it nasty? Is it tame? Is it cordial?
Yeah, pretty tame tonight, I'd say. Just
Okay.
looking at, I did put up a poll, so it is the question of the night. I'm just going to look at that right now. So the poll in the nasty chat, if you want to chime in, will the Oilers force a Game 5? 68% of you say yes. So.
Oh, nice. I
That's
like
a
the
lot.
positivity.
That's majority. I like it.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Box Pounder says, great shift, Cass. I will second that. And I feel like YouTube Trev will also back that up. Let's go to the inbox, 780-218-9999. Nash in Whitecourt with a long one. I want to read it. It says, I'm 44 years old. I've been an Oiler fan as long as I've been able to cheer. At this point, I'm done critiquing the team. I'm so grateful for this year and the ride they took us on. I have zero time for the trolls and the quote-unquote Oilers suck talk or, quote, why doesn't McDavid play somewhere else, quote, takes. The Oilers are one of two teams left. You don't get there if you suck. So to all those people, I say relax. Enjoy the game. Hope your team gets where the Oilers are right now. The end may not be what we wanted, but this has been a really fun part to be a part of, and I will likely never forget being at some of these games, especially Game 6 against Dallas. Grateful to be watching the game while at the lake in June. Let's get a win tonight, boys. Go Oil. Nash in Whitecourt. Well said, sir. Well said indeed. Chris Sadoway says, Oilers in 1, LFG. Donnie M says, are we getting hella bucked again? 4 straight goalie, unreal performances. Starting to feel that way, isn't it, Donnie? Let's go to this one. It's from Russell, who says, greetings, Tommy G. Texting tonight, staying out of the nasty chat. The Oil need to make life miserable for Bob tonight. Get in his way and in his mind, and they win. In case this is the end, I have absolutely loved listening to you and Cass, usually the day after on Spotify, all year since discovering EST. Cheers. Let's go, Oilers. Russell, thank you very, very much. That means a ton to all of us and to myself included, obviously. And I will say this, on the anniversary of 1260 going down yesterday, I ran into a lot of people who have hopped on the EST wagon. And like I said to the crew last night that I saw after the football game and people in the crowd, a huge thank you. This has been unreal. We weren't sure if this new station would take, and it has, and it continues to get better and better and better. And we're going to continue to throw some new wrinkles at you and build it up step by step. So, Russell, appreciate that so very much. And to everybody else who supported us, you know we love you just as much. And to the people that don't like us and still listen and watch, thank you. Thank you very much. It's all good. All right. One more from Spruce Grove Corey. Then we'll go back inside the media center and hear from both teams. Spruce Grove Corey texting in says, Tommy, I'm sitting here with nervous optimism. Give me some good news about Sam Gagner. Well, Sam Gagner is a good man. He's been practicing hard. I don't think we're going to see him play tonight, though. Spruce Grove Corey, I'm pretty sure he will be a part of the team going forward, if you want to use that as good news. But let's see what the lineups look like for sure when the teams hit the ice, but don't anticipate Sam Gagner being in tonight. All right, Trev, let's go back inside the media center at the downtown community arena inside Rogers Place. Who do you want to hear from next?
I have Paul Maurice ready.
Okay.
Is that okay? Can we hear from Paul Maurice first and then some Oilers?
I think that's great.
Okay,
absolutely.
Let's do it. Here is the Florida Panthers head coach, Paul Maurice.
That, you know, how you approach today would really depend on how you woke up feeling. So I guess just the question is, how'd you feel waking up this morning?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, you move around your day and you get around the players and try to get a feel for, you know, usually it would be just the energy level of the group, but you wake up and you really don't need a coffee this morning, so you're pretty sure your energy's right on. And that'll be the better part of the day, just through the morning skate, kind of get a feel for where they're at.
Right side, first row.
Paul, in a similar vein, you've been through a couple thousand morning skates. I was curious what you were thinking about as the guys were on the ice.
And nobody step on a puck. That would be like the first one. Nothing more. I don't do anything in the morning skate. We got 3 drills. Everybody knows what they were. I'm only out there because probably should be. I don't do anything. So, you know what? Connect with guys. I don't really have anybody that I was trying to fix or modify necessarily the game, but there's certain players. You don't spend as much time around the players as people think. right? Like, I'm not hanging out in the locker room with them. Like, you do my meetings, and then during the year, you got to grab a guy every once in a while. And then far more important interactions are just the skate buys in a morning skate. You grab a guy, tap him on his pads. Talk about a play. So I might have 80 clips. I'm not showing 80 clips, right? This will be a short meeting here, but there's probably a clip in there that was really good that you didn't. He's not going to get acknowledged for it because it's not going up. So you'll get around a couple of guys and say, hey, that back check in the second was unbelievable. You know, it's just stuff like that. Just not even pumping tires. It's to acknowledge the fact that they've done something great and it's not going to get shown. So I'm just connecting with people, that's all. And trying to tell the odd joke, but nobody thinks I'm funny anymore, so.
Right side, second row.
Paul, I believe your team's record in the last 2 playoffs, in 8 games in which you could eliminate a team, you've won 6 of those 8 games. What have you seen from your team in this time, in your time here, that they're so good at, you know, closing things down in that moment?
So you asked that question. There's 2 things that come to mind. How we looked in the 2 games that we didn't win. There's a bit of a theme in those games. And that's that idea of you want something so badly that you try to do something to make it happen before it should happen, right? Just don't try to break the game open. And the other is, and I would say this would be true even of Game 3, we've played the best hockey of the year in third periods under pressure. That's when we've been at our best, and we'll try to tap into that tonight.
Left side, second row.
Yeah, Paul, you talked about the energy, or you wanted to gauge the energy around the team. How was it, and do you want them to ignore as much as possible what's going on, or embrace that, or does it matter what you think?
I want both. So there's kind of, for me, and I'm not coaching the Oilers, but there's kind of 2 energy sources in the building tonight. One's desperation, and the other is desire, I guess, for a lack of a word. But both really powerful sources of energy, and we're both going to try to harness those things. So I want to be mindful of harnessing it. But we'll be very open about what's different about today. And then our challenge would be not have that translate into the hockey, right? The game, harness the energy. Yeah, this game is different than any other game they've played this year. So we'll deal with that.
Left side, second row.
All right, that was Paul Maurice in a pretty good mood, and rightly so. His team on the cusp of winning a Stanley Cup. Will the Oilers delay that or maybe take that opportunity away? It hasn't happened since 1942. Toronto Maple Leafs did it, being down 3-0, coming back to win that series with 4 straight victories. Edmonton just looking to extend this series to a 5th game. And if you're in Paul Maurice's shoes, your feet aren't touching the ground. Your feet aren't touching the ground. He's pretty good, pretty chipper there, as he should be. He has absolutely earned that right with his team's play. The results they've managed to get. But will Edmonton spoil the fun tonight? There's about 1.4 million people in and around this city that would love nothing more than for that to happen. Understandably so. There's a buzz around the building. There's a buzz downtown. It's going to be wild in there. Let's see if the crowd and everybody can will the Oilers to victory on the ice to extend this Stanley Cup Final and avoid the sweep. All right, YouTube Trev, let's go back inside the locker room, or pardon me, I should say the media center. Where do you want to go now?
Time now to hear from the young Dylan Holloway.
He's been taking a little heat here because he's not producing like he was at the beginning of the playoffs. But how are you seeing his game, and what's it like playing with him?
Yeah, I mean, he does so many other things than just produce that helps our team. He's so good with the puck. He's good in his own zone. And the points will come. It's been a tight series, and I think we've got good contributions from all over the lineup. So I don't think it's anything you should be criticizing him for. I think he does so many good things without the puck too. So
he's had so many different wingers. I guess when you get a chance to play with him, what is the key to playing with him?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, I think, is just not to change my game. I've been playing my game to get there on his line, so I don't want to change it up now. Yeah. Just got to keep playing my game and try and compliment him as best I can.
And when he has the puck, where do you go? Like, what do you try to find?
Definitely just trying to find open ice. Yeah. He'll find it before me. So he's so good at being deceptive with the puck, and sometimes you don't even know where he's going, but he always knows where his wingers are and his D-men are. So he makes so many good plays with the puck. He's trying to get open.
In a situation like this, a lot of guys have talked about that you're at your best when you're facing this type of adversity.
Yeah, I'm super confident in our group. You know, I know we're down 3-0 in the series, but I think it could very well be different than that. You know, our group's resilient. Our group's been through a lot this year, and yeah, I think we shine when the pressure's most on us.
Why is that? 'Cause why is it this team seems when they're backed in a corner? You guys did it in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That brings out the best of you. Why is that, you think?
I just think how close we are. We don't take anything for granted. I think we know how special of a group this is, and it just makes us really want it more. I think everybody understands what's at stake, but everybody also knows that we just got to relax, play our game, and our best can beat anybody's best.
Okay, we'll see if that comes true tonight as the Oilers look to pick up their first win of the Stanley Cup Final, down 3-0. That was Dylan Holloway speaking to the media earlier today. We did throw out anticipated lineups. We're waiting for the teams to hit the ice for warm-up, and we will put out the lineup when we see it from Rogers Place. Chris Noblock kind of keeping things close to his chest in regard to tonight's lineup. We'll see if Darnell Nurse is good to go. We'll see who gets scratched tonight. We'll see what the lines look like, as the two teams should be getting out there right away at Rogers Place. All right, YouTube Trev, where to next?
Yeah, let's go to the other side again, and let's hear from Aaron Ekblad and Carter Verhaeghe.
Obviously, in situations like this, guys always say, treat it like a regular game. But at the same time, how do you kind of want these circumstances to maybe motivate you guys and give you that little extra fire tonight?
Oh, I feel like you get that motivation all through the playoffs, right? It's the playoffs. So we're excited, we're anxious, we're optimistic. It's a great opportunity.
Left side, second row.
Aaron, this is for you too. Being a win away, the position you're in now, right? I wonder if you could just, as someone who's been through pretty much everything with this franchise, can you put into perspective what this position means for you in particular, for Barkov in particular?
I don't know if I have the words to justify and put it in perspective. It's, like I said, an amazing opportunity for all we've been through, and have to go grab it.
Right side, third row.
Carter, you got a chance to lift the cup in this building. Paul Maurice has never gotten that chance. Over the course of playing for him, what sense do you get about how badly he wants to win this and the way he kind of constructs this team and runs this team to do that?
Yeah, obviously he's a really good coach, and we love having him as our behind the bench. And yeah, he's been in it for a long time. I don't know, is it 30 years? And he obviously hasn't got it done. So, I mean, if we're going to do it for anyone, we can do it for him.
Front left.
Aaron, you've been around Sasha Barkov for a really long time. I'm wondering, can you tell me something about him that maybe none of us know?
I mean, you guys know everything. No, he's really funny. I mean, that's kind of the thing that you could say about him that most people don't really know, because you don't really get that, his dry sense of humor comes out, in the room, not necessarily in front of you guys. So that's probably it.
Right side, front row.
Carter, over the last 2 days, the other team has talked about how well they've played. They feel like they could be up 2-0 or 2-1. Connor Brown said today they feel they've carried the play. I mean, you guys are up 3-0. Like, how does that play in your room?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really focus on what they say. I mean, yeah, they can say whatever they want. And, I mean, it's just, we just try and focus on what we have to do out there and take it one game at a time. And, I mean, yeah, it doesn't really affect us too much.
Front right.
Aaron, this one's for you. As someone who's been here for a very long time, and I'm sure you've seen some of these clips of the watch party at the arena, all full of people watching a game without hockey being on the ice even. I mean, how has it been for you kind of watching the development of the fan base here?
Yeah, that was really cool. I didn't see that until we were at the hotel after the game there the other night, that the whole lower bowl was full. So that was, really cool. To see how far it's come full circle since I've gotten here has been incredible. So we're super proud to be playing in front of our fans.
We'll take a few more questions for the guys. Front left, Matt.
Yeah, Carter, knowing what's at stake tonight, knowing the Stanley Cup's going to be in the building, did you wake up feeling any different today, or feel any different now going into this game?
Obviously, it's hard not to feel a little different. We know what's at stake, and I mean, yeah, it's obviously a big game for us, but we just try and take it like one game at a time and one game mentality. honestly, if we try and do anything special, it doesn't really work in our favor. So I think just taking it one game at a time is the biggest thing for us.
Back left.
For Aaron, Paul has talked a lot about you guys' ability to bounce back from a tough game or a tough period. So after the third period last game, are you guys maybe feeling a little bit more hungry, or is there anything to work on to kind of come in tonight, even though we have the lead in the series, with like a little chip on your shoulder?
I don't remember seeing anything in that third period that we hated. At the end of the day, when you're up 4-1, the other team's going to really push, and we'd expect the same thing from our guys. So I don't think we need to change anything. We just have to continue doing what our team does best.
Take one more question on the right side, standing up.
Question for Aaron. What's your earliest Stanley Cup memory as a hockey fan, as a young kid watching and giving you maybe the inspiration of what you wanted to do for a living one day?
I was lucky enough to grow up being a fan of the Detroit Red Wings, so that was obviously a bit of a gift. So, yeah, watching them growing up was always great. Steve Yzerman, Nick Lidstrom, those guys leading the way, it was truly a treat to watch them.
All right, that was Carter Verhaeghe and Aaron Ekblad speaking to the media earlier today as they and their teammates, along with head coach Paul Maurice, look to close out this Stanley Cup Final with a sweep. Edmonton obviously looking to counter that and extend this series, keep their Stanley Cup hopes alive in this one. And the Oil are going to need a solid performance through and through. No 10-bell mistakes like they've given to the Panthers to take advantage of, which the Panthers have in this series. Al texting in says, hey guys, Skinner needs to keep the goals against to 2. The problem with the power play and top guys is finish. The effort is there. Skinner keeps it to 2 or under, and hopefully 97, 29, 93, 18 play to their averages. From Al. Al, good to hear from you. Corey B says, Paul Maurice is a beauty. Very well spoken. Lots of time to sit and listen to him speak. Let's go to this one. It says, if the Panthers actually do sweep, will you guys still have a post game saying Edmonton was the better team? Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out, will we? New texter there. 954 area code. What is 954 area code? Do you know, Trev?
No, that's a new one.
Florida.
There you go.
Shocking. Maybe. We'll see. Paul from The Rock is ready to go. He's got his Oilers hat and his jersey on, ready to go. Thanks for the text, 780-218-9999. The teams are on the ice. Our good friend and Hello Hockey Insider David Pagnotta says no Evander Kane for the Oilers tonight. We anticipate more lineup notes as the teams are on the ice at Rogers Place. And when the line rushes occur, we will pass along the lineups to you. In the meantime, get those texts in 780-218-9999. The question of the night, simply put, is will the Oilers force a Game 5? You tell us. We want to hear from you. I also want to add that portions of this hour brought to you by Edmonton's Best Rock, 100.3 The Bear. Catch Dusty Nielsen on every weekday morning with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord, and then tune into Jess Jackson on your way home from work every afternoon. I've had the good fortune of being on with Jess all throughout this playoff run. We love our good friends over at The Bear, our old brother station, and very nice to be partnered up with them again at our new station. So check them out. Edmonton's Best Rock, 100.3 The Bear. Let's go inside the Oilers locker room and hear from Brett Kulak.
When he holds the puck in the corners, he's holding guys off. How do you read off the ice? And where do you try and find that?
Yeah, you got to. You always got to know, like, expect the puck to come, because you know there's situations where some guys will have it and it's like, okay, there's not much lane there. You're probably not expecting it, but you know he can make the best passes. So he's probably the best passer in the league, and there's no such thing as impossible pass for him, I guess.
Yeah. This team seems to play its best when it's back against the wall. You guys play really well from the edge of a cliff. Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's just the desperation that comes with it. Everyone, you find extra energy from that, and it's kind of do or die situations, and we faced that numerous times, and obviously right now we're facing that. So I trust the group, and everyone's confident in here. We're going to come and bring our best.
Your coach said something along those lines. He said there's no sort of better group of men that I want to do this with, and he said I look forward to the next 10 days. I mean, that's kind of, you got to think that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our belief, and we talk in here, and we just want to win the first period tonight, go from there, win the second period, win the third, and just move on to the next day. So that's kind of our mindset. We're keeping the picture small, and I think that's what you got to do. And then, I was just talking with Mark Stewart before practice yesterday. He was on the Boston team in 2010. He skates by me and said I was up 3-0 once, and that was the team Philadelphia came back on and ended up beating them. So. And then Duncan Keith was around, I think you guys knew, and he was kind of telling me the same story. They were down 3-0, and they came back, they forced Game 7, and ended up losing in Game 7 in overtime on a kind of a mistake that happened, he said. But he said, it happens fast. The games come quick. You get a win, and all of a sudden you keep going, you build some momentum, you get yourself back in the series pretty fast.
There's the kid from the Stony Plain area, Brett Kulak, trying to get some positive momentum going. Started tonight. Can Edmonton stave off elimination, keep their Stanley Cup hopes alive? Florida up 3-0. Positive. Manifest positivity, as they like to say. Braden texting in says, if the Oilers want to win tonight, simple. Do not play Nurse. Well, Braden, I've got some news for you. Lineups are out, and this coming from friend of EST, made a cameo appearance on the Oil Stream yesterday afternoon. Bob Stauffer texting out the lines for tonight's Game 4. McDavid between Foegele and Hyman. Draisaitl with Nugent Hopkins and Holloway. Adam Henrique between Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. Derek Ryan with Ryan McLeod and Corey Perry. Those are your forward lines on defense tonight for the Oilers. Matthias Ekholm paired up with Evan Bouchard. Darnell Nurse paired up with Philip Broberg, and then Brett Kulak, who you just heard from, is with Cody Ceci. Stu Skinner in goal for the Oil. One more time. McDavid with Foegele and Hyman. Draisaitl with Nugent Hopkins and Holloway. Henrique between Janmark and Brown. Ryan with McLeod and Perry on defense. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Broberg. Kulak with Ceci. YouTube Trev, what say you?
I don't mind these, Tommy. I will say I don't mind these. I was really, just yesterday, there was a lot of, in the Twitter world, a lot of talk with Sam Gagner doing full line rushes and all that. And I was hoping to see Sam Gagner potentially, but doesn't look like it. So whatever. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the second line hasn't done a heck of a whole lot, so I don't mind them switching that up. At times, him and Draisaitl have looked really, really good. And when you've got a speedy Holloway getting you the puck, I don't mind that line at all. Warren Foegele finally got off the schneid, and I think he looked okay last game, so, putting him up with Connor McDavid and Hyman, I also like that as well. So, all in all, I approve of these, Tommy. I nothing to nitpick at here, I don't think.
Okay, well, we'll see what works. I would have loved to have seen Sam Gagner. I'm not going to lie to you. I said it many times. I stand by it. Would have been great to see Sam Gagner. So, not going to happen tonight. Let's go to the inbox. 780-218-9999. Brandon from Windsor says, Tommy, I'm not sure what's going on, but my texts have been acknowledged for about 3 weeks. Love listening to you guys. I feel like I'm being ignored. No, it's not because you're in Windsor. You're not second class AM nasty. The inbox has been absolutely ridiculous, Brandon, and I don't know why, but we'll get to your text right now. Brandon from Windsor says, I just want to say, let's expletive go Oilers. They're going to win tonight, and they're going to have to mix in a water. Well said, Brandon from Windsor, who is not being ignored. Let's go to IMAC. IMAC says, how sad is it? The local Florida media, someone from there has to tune into EST. Love it. Tune in so you can hear how crap scumbag hockey won the cup. Who needs skill? IMAC. Can you imagine the level of scumbag hockey the Rats would be playing if the Oilers were ahead? Picture that. IMAC. What happened? Did I miss something, Trev? Did I miss something?
That's news to me, Tommy. I don't know what that is.
News to me. I didn't. Florida media has been great. Every encounter I've had with them has been fantastic. So I have not seen anything. Maybe I'm just blissfully unaware about anything going on. So I will continue to enjoy having them here, as well as the rest of the international media and the national media. It's been a real treat. It's been a lot of work, a lot of fun, and at the same time, and a real unique experience all and all. So I haven't caught any of that iMac. I might have missed it, and I apologize if I did. And not really something I want to dive into too much for sure. Everybody's been great. All right, let's go to lines one more time. If you want to text us, get one in under the wire, 780-218-9999, and then the nasty chat. Good job. The poll, Edmonton. A lot of people around here feeling like the Oilers will extend the series and not be swept. Love to see it. I think it was just over 60% said yes, they will win Game 5. The last time I took a peek at our poll on YouTube. All right. Lines for the Panthers tonight. Barkov between Rodriguez and Reinhart. Bennett centering Verhaeghe and Tkachuk. Lundell between Luostarinen and Tarasenko. Stenlund with Lorentz and Okposo. On defense, Forsling with Ekblad. Mikkola with Montour. Ekman-Larsson with Kulikov. Bobrovsky between the pipes. For the Oilers, McDavid centering Foegele and Hyman. Draisaitl between Nugent-Hopkins and Holloway. Henrique between Janmark and Brown. Ryan centering McLeod and Perry. On defense for the Edmonton Oilers, Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Broberg. Kulak with Ceci. And in goal, the second-year man, Stewart Skinner. Will they extend the series? We will find out in a couple hours' time. YouTube, Trev, get on here. Final thoughts from you on what is hopefully not our last GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show.
Yep. No, when the back's against the wall, DVD, he brought it up, Game 6 against the Canucks. That was probably the best game they played up all playoffs. So if they can just, have that mentality, get that Mamba mentality, which I like. Warren Foegele, he showed up to Rogers Place tonight with a Kobe Bryant jersey, or a Kobe Bryant shirt. That it was quite some time ago when he was going to a game. He wore an Oilers jersey to that game. So it looked really good. So they got that mentality tonight. Got to have killer instinct. For the love of God, put the puck on the net, Tommy. Stick to the fundies.
Simplify.
Yes.
Simplify. Let's go. Let's go. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We appreciate it so very, very much. Couple of texts to wind things down here on the Oil Stream pregame show. IMAX says, no. Not talking about their media. Wondering why someone from Florida is trying to troll you guys. Can't tune into their coverage? Good point, IMAC. I hear ya. We've got the best coverage. I'm completely biased, but I will stand by that. Okay, thanks for clarifying, IMAC. And Maple Jet just says, good luck, Oil Country. Stu says, just got back from Ireland after a 2-week trip. I'm confident I will be a good luck charm for a win here, gents. Let's go. If the Oilers come out like they did in Game 1 and shoot high, they might have a chance. From Stu. Stu, well said. Positivity. Let's go, Oil Country. Let's see what happens. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel. A huge thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who listened, whether it was on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the Edmonton Sports Talk audio player, as well as Apple Music. Thank you. And over on YouTube, fantastic stuff. Oilers, Panthers, Game 4. Can they do it? Can they push this to a 5th game? We shall see. Big thank you to DVD, for Matt Kassian, and YouTube Trev. I'm Tom Gazzola saying see you in a few hours on the postgame show. Ciao, everybody.